Hello and welcome to the Wikipedia Weekly Network. Here, where Albin Larsson and I, John Ainali, are streaming and editing Wikidata live. How are you doing, Albin?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Quite nice weather we have had here today. So I've been out taking uh, Wikidata Shoot or Wikishoot Me
Oh,
using that
nice.
app because there popped up some new Wikidata items in my vicinity. So, new red things I need to chase down.
Ah, great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been out that much today, but I have a hike planned for tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that.
nice. And what plans do you have for the editing today?
I'm thinking a bit of Gov Director and working with government agencies, in
Mm-hmm.
particularly their field of work, but also a bit looking at the data model as well as field of work.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And you?
I will do some Lexeme editing and quite basic, like starting to create a few missing ones. Uh, Swedish, as I guess many languages, evolves and we get new words. And what's fun in Sweden is that we sort of have like some semi-official new word list where sort of like the Institute for Language and Folklore, which is a government agency, issues a list every year. Like these are the 30 New Year's words in Swedish this year, and we don't have all of them yet. So I was gonna add a few from the latest list.
Ah,
So and the list looks like this, and it literally says New Word List 2022 in Swedish here, and this is from, as I said, a government agency. But first I was gonna take a look in Wikidata. What do we already have here? I think this is a fairly new thing. They've been around since I think they started perhaps in '86. So let's see what Wikidata says. So I'm going to start making a query like I usually do by pressing Control Space and picking this option. I like that because that gives me some things. And first I want to then see these lists. And I happen to know that all of these have the series of the same thing. And so series is P, part of the series, that one. Now, do I remember what this? I'll try in Swedish here. That one is the one. So let's just try that, see how many things we get. 30, and we see the first one is one of the right ones. Let's add Swedish here, force it in, so we do get labels, because I don't think all of these have. All right, that starts looking good. Let's sort these as well. Order by item label, perhaps, might do the trick. And this gives us, yeah, so the first one we have is 86, and I think that's when it started. And then we looks like we have one for every year. So that's good. So we have coverage. We have all the list items here in Wikidata already. Now I'm curious, like, well, how many words of each do we have on each here? So let's see. We want now a word. I can call it Lexeme. That's what we're going to get. And I think these are, we're using described by source. That's the one.
oh,
And item. So these lists. So let's see first if that, yes. So here we got, I didn't select anything. but we got a lot more results. So we know yes, we have several from 86 here. And now we want to count here somehow. And let's say we want to count items as count. And if we count, we need to group. So let's group by the item label. That should do the trick. Yes, so we have 6 from 86. Oh, we don't have from all the years yet. So we have a lot of, but I think we have all from 2020 and 2021. That seems about right number, but only 5 from the last year. So still plenty to do here. What did you use for this? What did you, line chart? We should flip that, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see, run that again. Choose. Oh, and this doesn't sort. This takes the highest to lowest automatically. So
Yeah.
don't get any order here. I imagine that we have publishing date, publication date, and we could, instead of item label, take
Year? Yeah.
year of date. That's here. Yes, but then we need to group it by year here, I think. We can remove the order now. Do I have to bind that first, perhaps? No, I got one too many here. And a quick little line chart. All right.
The classic.
The classic. All right. Yes, this is correct, but not so helpful. Well, let's skip this. Let's go to actually editing the scenes. That's why I'm here. So I'm gonna take first like a fairly common construction we have in Swedish. I'm gonna start with this one. It means energy poverty, and the way we've done this, we'll sort of like stick those two words together, and we get a new one. And this is a noun, so it's fairly easy. It's an uncountable though, so it's a little bit different, or not super straightforward, but straightforward enough so that I can actually go ahead and use this excellent tool, Lexeme Forms. We've showed that before, and we're going to continue using it because that makes it so much easier. And I'll just go ahead with this. It will give me a form. Oh, and it says you have to log in. Of course I need to log in. I almost logged in, but I'm not connected to the thing. So I have to give it permission here to act as me. Now, since this is an uncountable, I think I need to activate the advanced here. Otherwise, it will give an error when I try to create it. And now I've already forgot what I was going to do. I'm just going to do this. So copy here. That word. This is 1. And the ending. And we don't have plural. And that creates the thing. It gives the language, the lexical category, and we see all the forms here. And now we can also, of course, add here as a starter instance of uncountable noun. I think this is the one. I haven't done this often in English, but I think that's the one. And now what's specific with this, of course, is the way I query the others was that they had described by source. And this one was the 2022. So now it will be one more in the query if we go back and run it again. Here we want to add a sense. And to figure out what we want to use as sense, I'm going to take a look at the concept here in Wikidata. That's the one we want, yes. All right, I think I'm just going to copy this. No, I'm not going to copy this. I'm going to correct it first because it's that took me to English. That was too quick. Is everything loaded now?
That was weird in many ways.
Can't get to the Swedish one. All right, I'll come back and correct this spelling error later. Also lowercase this one. But first here, we want to add a sense in Swedish. We'll fix this. Then, since we know there's an item for it here, we can also link that, which will make it very powerful later. So the item for this sense is this. Now we have a quite basic, but still very useful lexeme. We have like categories, grammatical gender. We have some extra information here. We have all the forms. We do have a sense. It's connected to an item. And we also have a source for this. So that's sort of like a very good start already. But we can do better because we know that this is this word tagged together with this word. And I think we have both of those in as lexemes already. And we have the combines property to do that. And now I think I already have some sort of helper script here, because this one actually does some search behind the scenes. I think this is one of Nikki's scripts I have. Or maybe it's just this smart. I don't really know now. So I know that it is this one. So this is the energy. And we could also say this is the first part of the word. And I'm going to do this in a couple of steps. But this is the sort of the straightforward. This one is easy to know. So let's do that one. And now this will give me a warning like, hey, you said this combines things, but you only added one. Let's add something more. All right, let's do that then. And then we have this one, the poverty part. And we know that's the second part of the word, too. And now the warning disappears. And now this is already a much richer lexeme, because now it's connected to the two parts of the lexeme that constructs it. But we can do better still. So let's go a little bit deeper here. Let's have a look first at the energy. Let's see that it has some sense, and that is the sense that we want. Yes, that's the sense we want. And it has some forms. And I'll just check the numbers here. So it's this first one of each. Because here I can also specify. So if I edit here and add more qualifiers, I can say that this is really... Do I get the list here? No, I do not get the list. This is meant to be the first form. Oh, I don't even get a... That's a little bit poor. And then we know it was the first sense as well. So we can really tell... Oh, there I got something. Maybe it's just slow. Or maybe senses are different than forms. I don't really know. But that at least sort of tells me what parts of that lexeme is it I'm combining here. So that's a bit better. So we add that for that, and let's do the same for the second part, the poverty part. And let's see, do we have the same here? We have a sense, and it's number 1. And we have the form, and it's number 1. So let's do very similar here. So edit here. I'll copy here, add object form 1, the object sense S1. And now it's even more sort of machine readable what parts we're constructing this. But we can do better still. So now we're going to get into how are these connecting to each other. And there are 3 different properties that sort of adds information on the relation. And I have not really mastered this yet, but I have done it a couple of times, so now I know what I'm doing and how to add it, and especially for these kinds of compound words. So I can add... Now let's see if we have these 2: syntactic dependency, head position, and relationship. So here I can say that this one is a nominal compound. Here we have it. And I can also say the syntactic head position, and this will be 2. And the other one will have the root and the position 0.
Will you be able to explain this?
No,
Not
unfortunately not. But I can
Ah.
show a little script that Mahir has made that actually can use this and visualize it.
Yeah.
But I need to add these 2 first. So I think that's the one I need there. And then for this one, I'll add instead then for the relationship, I add root. Now, which one? That one is the one, yes. Or is it the root node? I think it's... I think that's the one. And here we want position 0. And if I had done this correctly... Oh, Mahir is saying, yes, it's the root node. All right, I'll fix this.
And it seems like Mahir had a link there to some more descriptions of what Jan is actually up to here.
All right. And
for
now
those of you that are having as much knowledge in this subject as myself.
And I have added this user script. So I get this little link here, show dependency graph on lexeme page. I guess I need to reload the page. Let's see if it shows up. And now we can see this one actually, these are how they are connected. So this is the root node and this is the nominal compound. And yes.
Oh, so it's somehow how the subjects relate to each other somehow.
Yes.
Right.
And can I
imagine you could do all when it's big enough and you can use this and it combines one. It would be incredible to see this in the reverse, so to say. that you could query for the most common word in Swedish which combines a word. But that should also be
Yes,
a specific type of word, because I imagine we would get like super basic
exactly.
words. But I
Yeah.
imagine you could do all kinds of fun things with that, and maybe even games and such.
Yes, and also if you take a more complex lexeme that consists on several words, like idiom or something like that, then you
Yeah.
can really see how this fits together. But even
Oh,
here in
indeed.
just
And yeah, words that combine just a lot of words.
yeah, and as Mahir says, yes, it's a poverty of energy.
Right.
That's what this actually means, and that's why the poverty is the raw root thing, which an energy tells it what kind of it is. So now we have it fairly rich here. I don't know if it's possible to do it even further, but this is usually where I stop uh, on this combined lexemes. And these are a little bit tricky, and especially for other types of words. So, but I would, if you're doing any combined, I at least think that you should try to add the series ordinal and the numbers of them, because that gives you a little bit more, and it's usually fairly easy to figure out how it fits together. And
But it
yes,
gave a warning if you didn't have that, right?
no, it only gives a warning if I use the combines but only adds one.
Okay.
And sometimes you might do that anyway because the other one isn't created yet, and perhaps you don't have time to to create
Ah,
the
I
other one.
see. Yeah.
Yes, but you get a warning.
But the series ordinals could always be there.
It could always be there,
Ah,
yes, but you don't get a warning for it.
okay. So that may be something we should add in the future.
Yes. And here, of course, I usually stop with the combines. I usually don't stop with the actual thing here, because as Mahir says, usage examples is something that really helps someone to understand a word. Like, how is this used in a full sentence or something like that? So that's what we're going to try to add now. And to do that, I always like to go to the Swedish Parliament.
All
Uh,
right.
since we have, oh no, I went too deep here. That was linked directly to
Because otherwise you would be in a category now that where it could be tricky to find like free and open examples.
yes, yes.
Because these are new words. You won't find them in public domain content as such.
Well, yes, they are newish, but there are so established, so they want to add them, which means they could have been used for
Yeah.
quite some time.
Yeah, but probably not public domain old.
No, often not. So let's see if we find any of these in 75 hits here from the Parliament, and I think we're not going to go for the latest one. I don't think we have imported those yet. So let's see if we have any from 2020, 2021. I think those are all complete. And let's go. See if I see any good. It doesn't seem excellent. Let's try another year. Let's take 2021, 2022. And what I'm looking for is a sentence where you sort of like get a sense of what the word means. And some of these sentences sort of like use it in a way that you really need to understand what it means.
Yeah, it's
But
like
here we have a
implied.
great one. Here we have a great one. It actually sort of
Oh,
explains it. So let's go to, oh, I'm not sure we have imported these, but that doesn't matter. Let's see at the sentence in full here.
that's a really good sentence. It's like a description of it, the word, right?
Yes. So let's copy this. And I know we haven't imported these types of documents yet, but that doesn't matter because we can use other ways. So we'll use the usage example. We'll paste this. This is in Swedish. We're going to add some sort of qualifiers here. This demonstrates the form, and this is the first one. So this, and it demonstrates the sense, which is the only one we have. We have a point in time. When was this from? October 20, 2021. That didn't work. Let's go like this instead. October 20, we said. There we go. And then I think this is, I think we have language style. There we go. And I think this is formal language. Not that one, this one. And then we need to reference, and we have to do with a URL because we don't have the stated in. We haven't imported this one, but we do have the URL. And we get the retrieve date. There we go. So now we have a good usage example. And if you want to be complete, you will, I would try to like add an example for each combination of form and sense. So in this case, it would be 4 examples, but it might be very hard to find the different ones. And this is by the ordinal. Yes, it could be deduced from the lemma itself. But it also depends because sometimes we have compound words where the compound words are compound words itself, which means that you need to know where do I split them, and that is where you need a human in the loop.
Here is a query I want. What if there is a combined word that contains the same word more than once?
That I'm not sure if we have any in
No?
Wikidata yet, but I'm sure we have them in Swedish.
Yeah, exactly.
Language, yes.
It would be very interesting to be able to query for that type of word.
Mm-hmm. And also just finding compounds of double compounds.
Yeah, and you can build 3 of them almost. Like how many in how many levels do they compound words
Yes.
or combines?
I know I have done 3 levels. I think I've done. So we have a compound word, which is a compound word, and a compound word. so we really like to tack things together. I had a full list here of things that I could do if I was very quick, but I don't think I'm going to rush this. Instead, we're going to stop here and look a little bit what we're actually what was doing. So first, I used the lexeme forms, and here we have defined things. And if you don't have all this for your language, this is actually possible to define on Wikidata how these forms should work. And I think we have more word classes in Swedish, so we could even add more here. And then I added the instance of here, which perhaps isn't always necessary because you have the lexical category, but often you can add something more here as well. And it's very good if you can find some sort of external source for this. Now we actually do have two. So we both have the described by source, but also implicitly we have in our usage example, and since this is from the parliament, it's sort of like, yes, this is in the common language. Wait, did I click the wrong thing here? Oh, let me check formal register. No, that's what was what I was going for. All right, good. I haven't seen the English label for it, so I was a little bit, did I click the wrong? And then it's good if we can add the combines, and you can go deep, but at least go for the first level at least, because that helps a little bit already. And what's really good if you can add is add a gloss, so you can see, well, what are we really talking about here? And if it's possible to also add a link to a Q item, an item in Wikidata, the concept, then it's excellent, because then we can sort of like start building things for abstract Wikipedia later on with this word.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, Mahir created that query I requested.
Oh,
So there we go. There's the
all right.
link.
So let's show it here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! I mistyped.
No, you broke it. No, there we go.
Yes. And here we have many, as you said, also most of these are idioms and proverbs. Do we have any? If I go to the next. Oh.
Mur.
Danish. Yes.
Wow.
So this one combined with the
Yeah,
with
sure.
this
I never think of it like that, but yeah.
Yes. Oh, this was the query with where it's combined with something. Yes. So here we have also, yes. All right.
Okay.
And the will be very common, I guess. All right. That was what I was about to show.
Nice. And I'm gonna go over to government agencies and Gov directory. So I'm gonna head over directly to the Gov directory page because I want to have a look at the data model. So let me search. And I assume it's connected to the page here. Do we have it? No, it might not be connected to the wiki project. It says it's a wiki project, but don't have a page for it. Is there a property for that?
Is it in the Wikidata in the bottom?
That might be.
There's a site link. If you scroll down to other.
That's how it's done. There we go. And I'm looking for the data model, agency data model. There we go. And we got it in two formats. We got it like this, which is just a list with the various properties, and we got a schema, an entity schema, which looks like this. A few of them also have a comment for what the property is, but I haven't gotten so far to add it to all of them. I think we made this on stream as well, but my particular focus actually want to be to begin with at least is we got this classification of the functions of government, which is a UN classification to compare government agencies' field of work. And we have a lot of this on Swedish government agencies, but not so much for authors. So I want to use this and make a query that asks for give me all the agencies with one of those, but that are missing field of work, and see can we use like interfere it or can we add it manually somehow. And I want to do this because I want to play around on govdirectory.org with being able to use field of work for tagging instead of this one, as this one is rather hard to find data for. So let's head over to the query service. Just doing my regular basic template almost. In my case, this could be like pre-filled almost always. I do not really care about the instance of because this classification of government should only be on government agencies. So I can go straight to the property. I don't. Oh, I do actually want to select it. So I can get the label later on and then do minus. So we can see which are missing field of work. There we go. And here I do not need to select it, so I can just right wings like that. And let's run this just to see that it works. And then we can add the labels here. And I want the outer language, doesn't really matter in my case. I'm gonna say English and fall back to Swedish. Then add the labels, item label will be useful. The item itself, which will all be government agencies. And then the C4, but there I only need it. Let's see what happens. Ah, this is interesting. So we for example got a university which has a CFOG label for education, but it doesn't have a field of work. I'm not gonna go over the universities. I think there's also courts in here because I want to have a little bit more look at the modeling of field of work there. But here we got another interesting example. We got the Swedish Radiation Safety Authority. So their field of work in the best case scenario could be radiation safety. So let's see if we have one of those. And field of work, radiation safety. And I'm gonna open this up to see if it's correct. Subclass of security, it has correct label in Swedish. And the wikis do not really help me, but it looks very correct. So I think that's it. But why does it have large letter there? Oh, it's because I pasted it in like that. Okay. No, it has lower.
Yes.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Okay, so one down. I'm not gonna do all of them. I just want to pick out a couple of interesting examples. More universities, aviation, civil aviation. Let's see. Maybe we have something that matches that perfectly as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I still got this script for entity schemas running, and I don't think it runs on the correct schema. And I have no clue how to change it currently. I tried this before we started this stream. I noticed it was gone, but now it's back, so I'm not sure what I have
Ah,
on. I think it might be because I am be shifting
browsers.
the tame, the tame on Wikidata. Been playing around with the vector on timeless and so. Field of work. So let's see, civil aviation. Yeah, there we got a really good one with the description as well. Oh, we should really have added the description to radiation safety as well. I'm gonna bookmark it. That's how we do it. Geological surveys could also be one. I assume a lot of countries has government agencies for that. So it could be a category, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And is the field of work? This is the particular like
I think
um
that seems
act.
correct.
Yeah, this is the act of doing it. I wonder if
Yes.
there's a better one for the topic. But let's start with that and just have a look at the item and see if it has some type of subject or category or something. No. Then it's probably good as it is. We got a bunch of courts. As I said, that's something I want to look at separately. We got armed forces, a little bit boring. Tax agencies, just as boring. Let's see, do we have something?
Do you want to do the Lantmäteriet?
Yeah, that we could do. So the National Survey Agency.
Yes.
Um,
I would call it, yeah, land surveys or something like that.
Lancer, yeah, exactly. Field of work. That's a profession.
The second one then, surveying.
Yeah. There we go. Statistics Sweden. Oh, statistics. That's of course a
Yes.
good one. Let's see. Let's pick out a couple of few ones. We do have some related to space. Maybe we have,
Yes.
and a lot of ones
Perhaps
related.
even two space agencies.
Yeah, and we have a lot of ones for nuclear safety as well. Public employment. That's not that fun. Real estate.
Oh, go with the food agency. We like food.
Oh, where do you have the food one?
I think you scroll by it. There it is, third.
There it is, National Food Agency. Maybe we have a field of work that's just national food.
I think you can go with just
Yeah,
food.
I completely agree. Oops. Food. Human food.
Oh, that's perhaps even better because that's what they're
I'm
doing.
pretty sure because we have a different one
Yeah.
for agricultural, and I
Yes.
think they deal with orchard types of food as well.
Yes. And we have the third one for pets.
Oh, indeed. And then we got the statistics one. Field of work. Statistics. There we go. And yeah, there's a lot of things here to do, and I don't think you can always just copy the CFOG, and they are usually connected to a main subject.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't think you can just do it like this because some of them are very generic, like economic affairs, and
Yeah.
then it's the board that oversees the product range for the another government agencies that then sell alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very specific, so to say. Um, but this is a. It was more than I had hoped for. Maybe some of this has main subject as well. It was quite common that they have that, but not the field of work. That could be maintenance course in itself. Let's see just
Mm-hmm.
how the overlap is here. Main subject. So in the best of worlds here, I would get very few subjects
Mm-hmm.
because they would be in field of works. And we got two. Yeah, that's good. So I get this got like human rights in its main subject instead of its field of work and such.
Mm.
Um,
I think
but
I created that. Did I do it wrong?
no, but it could also be me who tried to add
Ah,
the main subject.
yes.
It's very likely that it's one of us at least. um, but that's a little bit what I wanted to try. But I actually want to go back to. I think we can use this one because this will just select a bunch of Swedish government agencies. So given this, I want to play around with the entity schema we have, and we can check entities against the schema. And if I remember correctly, so now we are at the tool on ToolForge already, and it just added the schema here. But something we can do, we can either just do a list of entities, if I'm not mistaken, and we can enter a Sparkle query, something like this, and have it checked against that. So let's see. Select ID. I can see here in the it's a little small. So I think I have to rename my item here to ID. But let's try that. So it says resolving fixed map. So let's see. Looks like I can click validate now. Wow. Or is it still working? Hmm. Given
It
that
w-
this is linked directly from the interface, it should work.
it was me, but I fixed it now.
Ah,
And it wasn't the main subject that was wrong. It was that we had a parliamentary document with the same title as the thing, so it shouldn't have the COFOG in the first place. The main subject was
oh,
right.
that
So
explains it. I wonder
yes,
if we have another mistake then on the government agency.
on the National Museum, I'll have a look.
Oh, doesn't we have a government agency with the same name as the?
No, this one doesn't. No, because
No, okay,
this
it
one will
doesn't
not be
exist.
picked up there because it's
Okay,
a written question as a P31.
right. Okay, I was hoping this would say something, and this is a verb, so I assume it's working, but it doesn't seem like it works. I'm gonna change one thing. I'm gonna set ID up here as well. See if that makes a difference. But no, it doesn't seem to do anything. I can only assume that it's broken. Ah, that's a little bit annoying. Let's see if we can check items in a different way. I'm gonna cheat and see if it throws some large type of error or something like that. Yes, we get a lot of errors here. It tries to connect to things it shouldn't connect to on ToolForge. Let's see if it. Ah, that looks better. Okay. ToolForge is a little bit interesting because you aren't allowed to like load things from Orchard domains because of privacy, but it seems like this tool does. So I have a pull request to make. But in the meanwhile, now we can actually use this. So in case you are running some privacy extensions, have a check there. But this is essentially the query, and I have an error in the query for everything with CFOG. And we got an error parsing query map. Wait, what's going on here? Select ID where. I'm gonna close it down and open it again and see if this could fix it. No, but now it's no longer green here. And it was blocked the request. Maybe I disable everything. And now we try validate. Okay, that seems broken. Good to know. And gives me something else to do another day. Okay, but we can check the entity schema with a different tool, as we know from the various items. When we open up a page here, we should see a bunch of the schemas. So how do we change this? That's the question. If I'm just gonna search for it on the page, what's gonna be the first one? That's gonna be the first one. So where do I change this? Let's see what my common.js looks like. To see what that user script could actually be. Entity shape.js, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a look. Yeah, that's what it should do. But how do I reset it?
Should be an edit field in the top of the page. Is it hidden
Yeah,
by something else?
I think it's because it also have a checkbox which
Mm-hmm.
says run this on every item, and I think
Mm-hmm.
when you click that checkbox, it disappears the input.
Oh.
Yeah, here is the checkbox in case. So question is, when we have checked that, how do we get back to the normal? It's not haven't ended up inside of something or things like that. I want to search after the user script. Oh, it has its own item. But I'm looking for everything. And let's see, do we have a help page? There we got the script itself.
Help on activating.
Yeah, that's a different one, right?
No, that's the one. No, is it?
No. Let's replace the one I got and see if that does the trick. So we're just gonna do like that, I believe, and we have a space there we don't want. I'm gonna publish the changes. Then we're gonna head over to an item. That's not an item. Here we got items. And I want to make a hard reload here. Ah,
Ah,
we got
there you have
something.
it.
I don't think it should look exactly like that, but it's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And because we removed the old one, we don't see that. So let's see what number this at.
E330.
And I assume I'm gonna click that. So it's missing a valid P71. But that's all it complained over. I don't know what that is by default. Could it be feel of work or something like that? Inception, of
Uh-huh.
course. That makes a lot of sense. Um, that is something we should usually. I have absolutely no clue which agency we are working with here, but uh, Forskarskattenämnd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but maybe we have the inception in the Wikipedia article. Mm,
We
its
do not.
instruction is from 2007,
Mm-hmm. But there's a
but
previous one from 99.
there is a previous one from 1999, exactly. So I'm not gonna just trust this as it is. I'm gonna see if they have an about page. Um, I had no
They
clue
do.
about this government agency. I like cookies. Um, yeah, they have a bit of history here. Yeah, but it's more in general. Okay, that's a
Uh,
little sad. Let's see. It didn't complain about anything else. I assume it have email and everything. Yeah, it does.
you
That's
could
really
check
nice.
the law from 99 and see if that replaced another. It usually says in the
Yeah,
law.
indeed. Let's have a look in the law.
Oh, that was dark.
Um,
If you scroll up, it's usually before the first paragraph. If it says it's replaced something there in the header.
no, it
No,
doesn't
it doesn't
seem like
seem like
it
it. No.
it replaced any. So maybe it was new that year, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit hard to tell. Or
Yep.
actually new the following year. The law was published and then went
Mm-hmm.
into, but it's a bit of a
Yep.
unsure source. I'm sure someone knows also. Um, something I noticed in the item actually was that it doesn't have an English label, but they have a link somewhere to English. So I assume they have a, yes, they do have an
Ah,
official, the Taxation of Research Workers Board. Okay, if you say so. I assume they don't write it out like that. No, they write it like that. Okay. So that's nice. Oh, and that edit button is for that, and this blue thing is for, okay. There we go. And I click that checkbox. Okay. So a little bit work. It was a little bit tricky to get the entity schemas working today,
mm-hmm.
but I'm sure there are improvements going on all the time. I might even contribute considering that I saw a little bit of what's going on. But with that, I think that's all for me today.
What you could do is
Okay.
add to that item the law as the regulation for it,
Oh, it doesn't
because we do
have the
have the law.
main.
We do have the law in Wikidata.
Yeah, but it's also in
Ah,
here.
it's already in there. All right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I didn't
think
see it.
you imported this.
I didn't. I think it was user poppy pop.
Oh, let's have a see. Um,
Ah,
no,
no.
I'm not a user,
Many
and it
people are
seems to be
helping.
done. Yeah, Uber fine. It was an import. Yeah,
Yes. Beautiful.
yeah, yeah. That's a really useful one, and I think that's in our data model schema as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we also use it on govdirectory.org.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay, a little bit of progress here. I know kind of how much work there is to be done in this case with the C form migration and such. Yeah, okay. I have a lot of work in the future. I won't be done with Wikidata.
No, I think there's always a lot to do.
Right.
All right. So I think that's all for today. But next week we'll be back as usual, I think.
Yeah, so do
Yeah.
I.
And if you have anything you want us to show, just let us know, and we'll be happy to uh, do it. But it has to be a little bit earlier than like the hour before, because then we're usually already prepped.
Yeah.
But now is a good time to ping us for the
Yeah.
next week.
If
Yeah.
you have tools or just topics that are interesting or find weird things in Wikidata or wiki projects that you think should really be highlighted or something like that, that would be
Yes.
great.
Yeah. So until then, happy
Happy
editing.
editing.